And welcome back into the Wave Morning Show. We have our school superintendent, Rick Surrency, with us today. How are you, Rick?
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I am doing super. It's nice weather this time of year. It's the type of weather that's almost cliche. You wish it could stay this way all year long.
Yeah, I think it's spring, right?
Yeah.
I think spring happened a couple weeks ago. So.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Speaking of a couple of weeks ago, I saw a big commotion going on at the Crescent City Hall.
Yeah, I
Was
guess.
that you guys?
Yeah, I guess you were talking about the school board meeting.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about school safety, and we're still talking about school safety. That's a hot item and all across the nation, and it's a very passionate thing. So.
A lot of folks were there.
Yeah, and we're actually having a meeting tonight at Price Middle School in Interlaken at 7 p.m. Again, our board's trying to reach out and have meetings in all parts of the county. So if you get a chance, come out. And tonight we're going to be talking about several things, but number one on the list is talking about establishing sheriff's office substations around our county in some of our schools. And again, it's just another way that we're trying to have a presence, sheriff's office presence in our schools and provide safety and security. And so
a lot of folks are throwing out a lot of ideas right now about what to do, and I've heard a lot of them. This one you've come up with today, or you've said today, it's the best one I've heard so far. I mean, I've seen substations at gas stations. Why not have your substations at the school to have that type of presence there? That would be a big deterrent, if you ask me.
Yeah, and it's really no cost, and
it's all government anyway.
Yeah, it is, and why can't we work together and just have an extra presence there, law enforcement presence? I think it helps people feel more secure. It allows the sheriff's office to have some space where they can, bring deputies in and out and that type of thing. So I think it's a win-win for both of us.
Yeah, and then your kids are growing up that close to the police officers, and they'll have a different feel for what the police are really like. They grew up together, sort of.
And again, the whole idea behind a school resource officer is an officer that is actually assigned to a school that makes those relationships with kids, and kids learn to trust the deputy. The only problem is, like anything else, is cost. And the cost of hiring a school resource officer for every school in our county is cost prohibitive. And but we are trying to look at ways that we can provide security. The new law that was passed a few weeks ago, Senate Bill 7026, requires for there to be some type of safety officer in every school, whether it's a deputy, a security guard, or a guardian, or someone in the school who is deputized to be armed. So that's what
that was passed in Tallahassee, correct?
That was in Tallahassee, and each school district.
Who's paying for this?
Well, actually, Tallahassee has appropriated some money for additional school resource officers, but
not enough.
Not enough. Now we're going to be adding probably 4 more school resource officers, and again, we'll have probably 7 or 8 schools that will not have, not be able to have a school resource officer. So we're going to try to find the best way to do that. I've made some proposals, and again, the school board has a final say on what happens. But we're in the process of discussing that, seeking a lot of public input. It is a very contentious item. A lot of people have some real intense feelings about it, and I understand that. But we do want to hear from everyone, and because this is about our kids.
Yeah, it's a shame that this is where we are, but this is where we are. Didn't used to be this way, Rick.
That's right. Yep. I think it all changed about 20 years ago in Columbine, and I was a school administrator at the time, and that was in 1999, and everything changed from that point on.
Really? I think it could go back even farther to a degree. When we stopped eating dinner at the dinner table, we started eating in the living room because cable came along, and then everything else that's come along has driven us away from our core values, really, I think.
Yeah, it's a pretty complicated thing. There's no single answer to it all.
Right.
And we can go back and look at the family or the lack of family time, and there's just a lot of things. And you're right, schools are a reflection of our society as a whole.
Only so much we can do in the school.
Yeah, you're right. And the number one thing we're trying to do is provide a safe place for kids to go. Kids need to feel when they go to school they're safe, they can learn. They can't learn unless they feel safe. And we're trying to provide that safety feeling, not only feeling safe, but being safe. Because when we drop our kids off at school, you want to have that expectation they're going to come back home safe.
Yeah,
every
when
day.
it was Columbine, that's Colorado, and different states, you know, you can almost be detached to it here in our state, but when it happens in Florida, it's got to be in the back of these kids' minds that go to our schools and every day. I mean, it's got to be something they think about constantly. That what could happen might happen now because it's happened so close to home.
I think people say now it's not a question of if, it's a question of when. You know, it's
That's
just
sad.
getting pretty commonplace now. So even since Parkland, we have the shooting up in Maryland. So it's almost weekly we hear some type of tragedy going on.
Well, don't know the answers, but we'll keep trying, right, Rick?
Yeah, and we are doing everything we can. There is no one single answer to it all, and we're looking at trying to establish as many layers of security around our schools as possible. But number one thing is we need to make sure kids trust us as adults, and that they have an adult they can go to if they have a problem or they want to report something. So it's all about building those relationships, and we don't want to minimize that at all.
Well, we can tell you care, Rick, so we're glad you're there. So thank you very much, and thanks for coming into the studio.
Thank you. Always good to be here.
All right, folks, we'll be right back.